Welcome to Have You Read It, the channel where we bring books to life, one summary at a time. Today we're tackling Henry Kissinger's World Order. It's a dense read, but incredibly insightful, exploring the concept of international relations throughout history and across different civilizations. We'll journey through Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and of course America, examining how each region has approached world order, the challenges they faced, and how these historical perspectives shape the 21st century world. Kissinger begins by posing a fundamental question: what is world order, and has a truly global one ever existed? He points out that the current international system, often called a rules-based order, is rooted in the Westphalian Peace of 1648, a European solution to European problems. This system, based on sovereign states, non-interference, and a balance of power, has become the default global framework. However, its very foundations are now being challenged. Kissinger explores the evolution of the European order, highlighting its uniqueness. Unlike other civilizations that rose and fell as empires, Europe embraced political and religious pluralism after the fall of Rome. This wasn't necessarily a moral choice, but a reflection of the inability of any single power to dominate. The Peace of Westphalia codified this multipolarity, giving birth to the modern state system and the concept of national interest. This system, however, was constantly tested by ambitious leaders like Louis XIV and revolutionary upheavals like the French Revolution, demonstrating the inherent tension between order and freedom. The Congress of Vienna, following the Napoleonic Wars, created a system that balanced legitimacy and power, aiming to prevent another French hegemony while incorporating a newly powerful Russia into the European order. The rise of nationalism and the Crimean War disrupted this balance, leading to Bismarck's unification of Germany and a shift toward realpolitik. This new German-dominated order was more rigid and less adaptable, ultimately culminating in the tragedy of World War I. The post-World War I order, epitomized by the Treaty of Versailles, prioritized legitimacy through the League of Nations and collective security, but neglected the balance of power, leaving it vulnerable to revisionist powers. The interwar period showcased the failures of this approach, culminating in another world war. Post-World War II, Europe, under American leadership, embraced a new approach: integration through institutions like the European Union, aiming to transcend the state system that had been its hallmark. Kissinger then shifts his focus to the Middle East, a region characterized by its own unique approach to world order. Historically, the Middle East had been dominated by empires, each viewing itself as the center of civilization. The rise of Islam introduced a new universalist vision, Dar al-Islam, aimed at uniting the world under a single faith. The Ottoman Empire carried forward this vision, clashing with Europe's multipolar system. The collapse of the Ottoman Empire and the subsequent imposition of the Westphalian state system on the Middle East created inherent tensions. The rise of secular national states, often led by military rulers, offered a path to modernity, but the Islamic legacy reasserted itself through movements like the Muslim Brotherhood. The Arab Spring, initially celebrated as a democratic awakening, exposed the fragility of these secular states and the power of Islamist movements. The Palestinian issue, according to Kissinger, embodies a clash between world orders. Israel, a Westphalian state, seeks recognition and security. Many in the Arab world, influenced by an Islamic view of order, see Israel as an illegitimate entity. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, a key Western ally, navigates a complex path, balancing its alliance with the West, its religious purism, and the internal and external threats of radical Islamism. The disintegration of states like Syria and Iraq showcases the decline of statehood itself in the face of sectarian and tribal conflicts. Kissinger examines the complicated relationship between the United States and Iran. Iran, a nation with a long history of sophisticated statecraft and an imperial tradition, has, since the Khomeini Revolution, embraced radical Islamism, challenging the existing world order while simultaneously operating within it. The Iranian nuclear program exacerbates this tension, representing not just a technical challenge but a fundamental disagreement about the nature of international relations. Kissinger moves on to Asia, a region he terms the multiplicity of Asia, due to its diverse histories, cultures, and approaches to order. He contrasts Asia's historically hierarchical systems with Europe's balance of power. He analyzes Japan's rapid modernization and its journey from isolation to empire, highlighting its adaptability and its unique national spirit. He also examines India's historical experience, its cultural resilience in the face of invasions, and its post-independence embrace of non-alignment, a strategy combining moral pronouncements with a shrewd pursuit of national interest. Kissinger questions whether a coherent Asian regional order exists, given the divergent priorities of the major powers. Kissinger discusses the potential for conflict or partnership in Asia, focusing on the relationship between the United States and China. He examines China's historical Sino-centric world order, its clash with the West, and its embrace of a more Westphalian approach in recent decades, while still yearning for its historical centrality. He highlights the importance of the U.S.-China relationship for global stability and the need for a new type of great power relations to avoid a catastrophic conflict. Kissinger then turns his attention to the United States, exploring its own ambivalent relationship with world order. America, he argues, has historically seen itself as exceptional, with a mission to spread liberty and democracy. He traces this from Jefferson's Empire for Liberty to the pronouncements of Manifest Destiny, noting the tension between America's universalist principles and its reluctance to engage in power politics. He examines the evolution of America's global role, from Theodore Roosevelt's embrace of realpolitik to Woodrow Wilson's vision of a world made safe for democracy. He criticizes the Wilsonian emphasis on collective security and open covenants as being insufficient to maintain order in a world of conflicting national interests. Kissinger analyzes how Franklin D. Roosevelt attempted to build a new world order based on Wilsonian principles, highlighting his focus on personal diplomacy and his misplaced trust in Stalin. The Cold War, according to Kissinger, forced America to confront the limits of its idealism and to engage in a geopolitical struggle with the Soviet Union. He examines the strategies of containment and détente, noting the tension between the strategic and the moral in American foreign policy. He describes the Korean and Vietnam Wars as showcasing the challenges of applying Wilsonian principles in the context of limited war. He explores how Nixon and Reagan brought about the end of the Cold War by combining realism with idealism, power with legitimacy. Kissinger also dedicates a chapter to the impact of technology on world order. He explores the dilemma of nuclear weapons, the challenge of proliferation, and the emergence of cyber technology as a new domain of conflict. He argues that the rapid pace of technological change requires a new approach to international relations, including a renewed emphasis on strategic dialogue and cooperation, even among adversaries. Finally, Kissinger addresses the human factor. He expresses concern that the pervasiveness of information technology, while offering unprecedented access to information, may diminish historical memory, strategic thinking, and the capacity for leadership. The constant connectivity and demands of the digital age, he argues, can erode privacy, encourage conformity, and inhibit the development of the personalities required for statesmanship. So, what's the main takeaway? Kissinger argues that a sustainable world order requires a balance between power and legitimacy, realism and idealism. The United States, with its unique history and global reach, has a crucial role to play in shaping this order, but it cannot do so alone. A new world order must involve a concerted effort by all major powers to create regional orders and relate them to each other, recognizing the diversity of cultures and historical experiences. This requires a modernization of the Westphalian System that accounts for the realities of a globalized, interconnected world. He emphasizes that world order is not a finished product, but an ongoing process, requiring constant adaptation, negotiation, and a clear sense of purpose. As a quick heuristic, Think of world order as a complex dance between different partners with different styles. There's Europe, embracing integration but neglecting power. The Middle East, torn between tradition and modernity. Asia, rising with Westphalian vigor but lacking a shared vision. And America, still exceptional but struggling to balance its idealism with the demands of a complex world. The key to a successful dance and a stable world order is for each partner to understand their own steps, be mindful of the others, and find a rhythm that allows them to move together without colliding. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next book dive.